Welcome to One for the Girls podcast, your one stop shop for our take on art and pop culture, dating, and romance in the real world. I'm your host, Carly, and I'm joined by my dear friend and co host, Haley.
Hi.
Keep listening, ladies. This one's for you. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of One for the Girls. We're excited for today's show because this is episode 2 of our beauty series called Bold and Beautiful. We will be covering different topics each week of this series, and we can't wait for you to see what we have planned because we have a lot of fun stuff planned. Today's episode will be about makeup. We're starting our transition into makeup. Last week was about skincare, which is foundational. We want to talk about skincare before we talk about what we put on our face. So this is the first episode about makeup. We are breaking up the makeup episodes into more bite-sized chunks. So today we're going to be focused mainly on our face. And then, as the weeks go on, we will talk more about, eyes, lips, etc. So I'm really pumped about that. It's going to be a fun show. Each of us here have prepared our products to either show you or just talk to you about stuff that we use. And we are pumped about that. But before we move forward, I wanted to check in with you guys and see if any of you added new skincare products to your routine after feeling inspired by our episode last week. I know Candy wasn't able to be with us, which was a huge bummer, but we're really glad that you're back. Candy had lost her voice, and so obviously, as you can tell, doing a podcast is really hard without a voice. So I just want to hear from you really quickly. I know, Candy, you might or might not have heard our conversation.
Bless you.
But is there
Thank you.
anything, I guess, for you in this quarantine, skincare wise, that you've started? Like, have you added any new skincare products?
Yes, I just started oil cleansing
Nice.
and my skin feels more hydrated, but it's also bringing stuff to the surface. So I'm breaking out. I don't know if you can catch it on camera because I did put on some foundation, all around my lips and stuff. But it's also might be from the mask because San Diego's finally lifting our quarantine, but you still have to wear a mask. So I don't know if it's from the oil cleansing or if it's from the mask wear. But it's the idea behind oil cleansing. It's a little I don't know. It feels weird putting oil on your face because I pores. But the idea is that oil attracts oil, so it's pulling stuff out. And I'll let you know. I'll give you an update later. But it feels like the rest of my skin feels more hydrated. And
Awesome.
I've been doing the hair, nail, and skin vitamins too. So my hair's been better. But I feel like that might be helping my skin too. So
Yeah, that's really cool. I have heard, I've used some topical oils and stuff before, but kind of what you're talking about, like the oil pulling, basically. I've heard a lot more. There's got gained a lot of traction lately. So I'm really interested to hear how that goes for you. Because if it works well, I'll probably want to try it. I know for me, there was a brand of toner because I was out of toner. I don't know if y'all remember. I didn't have my product. And the toner that I usually get, it's not super expensive. It was about $11. And bless you, Christian.
Thank you. I don't know what's happening right
No,
now.
that's okay.
Allergies.
That's okay.
Central Texas.
Allergies. You're allowed to sneeze. It's okay. But I am kind of a bala on a budget right now.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my job situation to start up. So technically, my husband and I are both still unemployed. So I did go and pick up a toner that Gabby actually shared. I forget the brand name now. For some reason, it's escaping me. I'll link it or I'll talk about it later. Gosh, what is it? Hendrickson's or
Yeah, was it the
maybe
witch hazel toner?
Hendrickson's? Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's right. I just don't want to
think that
misrepresent
is.
it. I really like it so far, but I chose that one because it was less than half. It was $4 and something cents, and that was kind of more in my budget for skincare right now. And so far I really like it as a toner. It's really, really gentle. So that's the thing that I added. Christian, have you added any new skincare things that you felt inspired about from the podcast?
I have not, but I have stuff on my list. Like I said in the other podcast, my skin is really sensitive, so I have to add stuff slowly. And since I
Yeah.
just added a new moisturizer, I'm waiting. But I do have a lot of stuff on my list. It was a great one.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I have sensitive skin too, and you can't be too careful or else your whole face will be like hives or
Right.
rash or whatever. So that's awesome. Haley, what about you?
Hi. So, for those who listened or remember, I didn't have a skincare routine. I had some old Mary Kay stuff, but I don't believe in that company. So I pretty much threw all that out and bought everything. So even though I am still on a budget as well, even though I'm employed, I have a lot of bills. I did spend quite a bit of money to get myself situated, but I also found this mask under my sink, and I'm pretty sure Christian gave me this too because she gives me a lot of stuff. It's a Tarte clay, clay and gel mask. I love Tarte, so I'm really excited. I'm gonna try this. I think I just threw it under my sink because I never used masks before. I didn't know how to use it, but now that I'm focusing on my skin. So just real quick so that we can move on, I'm going to show you guys what I bought. And I guess Gabby inspired us all because I bought a lot of the Honest brand by Jessica Alba. I bought a gentle gel cleanser. It's too close. Really, really nice. It makes my skin feel really clean. And maybe it's the chamomile, but there is like a really weird smell to me. And I could not pinpoint it, but it's not bad. It's just, I don't know. It wasn't something that I necessarily enjoy, but it makes my skin feel clean. I also bought her deep hydration moisturizer. It's like my thing's bright, so you can't see it. And then the deep hydration eye cream, because Gabby said that helped with the darkness under her eyes. So I really, really hope it works. I've used it for 3 days now. So I also, thanks to Christian, her birthday gift from Ulta, got the Bliss exfoliator. Bliss was another brand that Gabby had brought up. I used this the other day. It is very blue and it feels really good. It's not like a really rough exfoliator. And I also got, I spent a lot of money. The Drunk Elephant SPF. That's all it is. It's just some sunscreen, SPF 30. So I can protect my face. And then the Inky List, which was a brand Christian brought up. I got the toner for sensitive skin. And this was like only $11. So this was a really good price because these were $20 a piece from Honest. And then this was like $30-something, the SPF. So like I said, I spent a lot of money. But I'm all set. I've been doing it all week. I have not missed a day.
Yay.
I feel like my skin feels really good. But Candy, I know you mentioned breakouts. I have quite a few spots that just kind of appeared after I started. And I think because I never had a routine before and now I do, my skin just was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Take a step back. We haven't ever felt these spots before. So for the most part, I feel like my skin feels like clean, which is good. But
yeah, it's fantastic.
Quick little introduction of all my new stuff. I also took a very, very, the word I'm looking for, was very, very happy to be able to throw out those other products. So it felt good.
Good.
Get rid of the ones that are not cruelty free.
Catharsis. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Go.
Okay. So like Carly said, we're going to be talking about makeup this week and actually the next few weeks, which is really exciting. But specifically our makeup prep and our, foundation, contouring, if you know how to do that, because I do not. And basically, we're just going to guide the conversation with you guys and just kind of share our products, all of us. And then at the end, we'll give everybody, a little bit of a chance to maybe say your routine with these products specifically. And then throughout each category, we're also going to be highlighting some Black-owned beauty brands for each product, which is really exciting. We did it last time and we received some really good comments about that. So I'm happy that we can continue this throughout the mini series and bring some light and try to help them right now in this time.
Totally.
So let's see, I lost my place there for a second because I got off on a little tangent. But ultimately, the goal of today's episode is just to share and grow together for the purpose of feeling good and empowering each other. Some people wear makeup, some people don't. But for those that do, this might help them. Or for those who want to start, we could be helping them, with brands and items that they might not know.
It's a big world. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff So
I mean, like me with skincare.
Yeah.
I bought all
Totally.
of this based on recommendations from you ladies. So so far, I'm really happy with it. All right, so let's jump in. We're going to start the beginning of our makeup discussion with primers because that's pretty much our first step after we clean our face is our primer before we put on anything else. So using a primer creates an extra layer between your skin and your makeup, smoothing the surface and tone of your skin, also helping your product hold on, which I think is pretty much why I use it, is to hold that makeup on. I'll start with mine. I actually have a few. I think Christian knows that I am constantly switching primers and trying to find the best one. I used the Mary Kay one for a really long time. For those who maybe don't only buy cruelty-free, it actually is a really nice primer. It's really, really soft. But I am doing cruelty-free only. So for like a hydration one, I have the Base Tape by Tarte, which smells like coconut. So if you love coconut, this one.
Hey.
I didn't look up the prices on anything this time, so sorry about that. But Tarte is a little bit more of an expensive brand, typically in the 20 range. I have a bunch of these little ones from Laura Mercier, and then I bought a gigantic one recently. She is actually in the gray area for cruelty-free, which makes me really sad because this is my absolute favorite primer. It's a luminous primer, so it really gives like a really nice sheen to my skin, which I hated growing up. I always wanted it to look matte, and now I don't. So I did buy this knowing it was in the gray area. I still like debate with myself whether or not I'm going to continue to buy it. I just need to do some more research on the company. And lastly, I have the Becca primer. This one is Instant Complexion Refresh, but I also have used the pink one. I don't believe I've ever tried the black one, but Becca, you will see over and over from me today. So those are the three I use, but for the most part, Laura Mercier is the only one I use. I used the Tarte today. I am going to pass this baton on to Christian. Christian, what primers do you use?
So I actually don't use primer. That's one of those things
okay.
I've never found one. And that's I don't use primer, but I use stuff as primer.
Right.
So I use my sunscreens as primer. I have a sunscreen that's more moisturizing. I have a sunscreen that's more mattifying. So depending on what I want, I'll put on one of those, give it time to sink in, and that's my primer.
Hey, I mean,
Great.
different ways to do it, and it works the same. So nothing wrong with that. I really want to try one of the spray primers too.
Ooh, that would be nice.
Yeah,
Haley's
if anybody's used those,
I love it.
I am trying to. I'm trying to pull information from y'all. So if anybody has used those, let me know. Okay, so Candy, why don't you let us know what primers you use?
So I actually haven't tried any expensive ones. I just got into primer. I was always like, I don't get it. Like before, because like I've been doing my makeup since middle school, and like primer wasn't a thing back then. Like,
right?
It was not. I don't know. It wasn't a thing for me, and it just recently became one. So I started out with e.l.f. and I really liked it. There's a couple different kinds, like correction ones for like the different if you have uneven skin tone. But I just found this JOA. It's like JOAH at the drugstore, and it makes my skin feel so silky. This one's a pore deactivator, and it's a matte one. I prefer matte, but like it makes like I have like a little bit bigger pores around my cheeks right here, right by my nose. So I like that it smooths that over. It makes my face like plumper.
There you go.
That's really cool.
Cruelty free. I did check. I checked on it. So
hey,
I might have to try that one then.
right?
Vegan though. e.l.f. is vegan. So
yes, I love e.l.f. You'll see that multiple times today from me as well.
Beauty thing.
Yes.
And
they're so affordable, and Target has
like all of it almost.
They're like I said last episode, I didn't have any, but their makeup remover wipes are my favorite too. So, Carly, what about you?
I also use e.l.f. I actually have a lot of e.l.f. products today, like a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I like it too because it is, first of all, their products are high quality, and you could trust the brand. But also they're really affordable. And so I like that too. And right now I'm using the Illuminating Face Primer. And this one I think is $6. I got this at Walmart actually. I mean, the cool thing about e.l.f. is that I know Target carries it, Walmart, I'm sure other drugstores probably do too, and you can also just order it from their website
And I
directly.
found it at TJ Maxx too.
Yeah, stores
Yeah.
like that. But I know like right now, for instance, on e.l.f., there were a handful of products because I went to go price check just in
Yeah.
case.
I forgot.
And there are a lot of deals on e.l.f.'s website. Like you can actually see a lot of products marked down. So FYI, anything that we talk about today, that's e.l.f. I'm sure other companies too, but
Right.
there was a lot of marked down products. But while I'm talking about e.l.f., once this is out, the primer that I really want to try is their putty, their poreless putty primer. They famously say it's their primer that broke the internet because I mean, they had a lot of traction online about this primer. And it's really amazing. Like I've seen, how they'll do like a patch test, like there was someone who put a strip of the primer and then got product and like, I think it was like maybe eyeshadow showing that like it's versatile on your face or wherever. And they swiped it across and you can just see there's this thick, beautiful line in the middle and how the product on the other side. Anyway, I really like I like seeing swatch tests like that because it really helps me know. And, with e.l.f., it's like, it's going to be a $4 to $6 investment on a product that's going to be good. So it's just regardless of if it, works on your face or not, it's still going to be a high quality product. So that's what I use. That's another one that I want to get is the poreless. But a primer that I want to highlight is from a Black owned company that you may be familiar with called Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. I know that they've got a lot of traction for different products and foundations and stuff, but they actually have really good primers. And so I wanted to highlight primers because it might be something that you're not aware of. You don't hear maybe about primers as much. They're not as popular, I guess. But Fenty has 3 primers that are really good to try depending on what your skin goals are. So they have a hydrating primer for dry skin. They have a mattifying primer for oily skin, and then they have their instant retouch primer, which is marketed for all skin types. So you can find those at fentybeauty.com, and I'm sure you can probably find them at Sephora and Ulta as well. But I think it's probably good to just send that traffic to her actual website right now, as far as if you're trying to show support and solidarity and that I think it would be better to direct it directly to her. So fentybeauty.com, and then also there's multitudes of amazing products on the website too. So I just wanted to highlight that. Try them out if you are in the market for a primer and you don't know. That's probably a good place to start. But we'll kind of move forward from primers now. We've laid the foundation, so to speak. Yeah, so let's move forward. I know that a lot of men and women wear different kinds of foundations. That's going to be our next step is foundation. I know lots of men and women wear different kinds depending on what they're wanting, right? So you have a lot of like really light coverage. You can have medium coverage. You can have like a full coverage. And I know that at least for me, I have several different products that I use depending on what I'm trying to get. I do have some that are buildable, but I do have some that are like more light and medium and heavy. So I'm gonna go through those. But just for starters, maybe if you don't wear foundation or you're not sure, foundation basically just helps to lay an even layer of color and texture and coverage for your skin. I know that like if you're trying to use a bunch of different layers, sometimes people will put, like if you're using a powder foundation, sometimes people will use some other steps like concealers and things that we'll talk about later. Sometimes they put that on first if they use powder. So they'll put like all their concealers and things and then the powder. But I know I use liquid, so we're going to talk about that first. But just keep that in mind. Like if you're using a liquid foundation and you're wanting to build on top of it, like on your face, the order would be like liquids to powders for the most part. And that's not even really a rule. That's just the way I like to do it. Seriously, some people will do whatever they want and they'll swear by putting a powder on and then putting liquid. So whatever works for you. But for me, I have texture problems with my skin a lot. And so for me, it works best working from liquid to powder. But I just wanted to make that disclaimer. But with makeup, there's not really any rules. It's more of just guidelines. You can do whatever you want with your face and it's correct. So I'm just going to say that. But for me, so I'm going to start talking about my products and then I'll ask you ladies about yours. If I'm wanting just a light coverage, I'll use a tinted moisturizer, which is actually what I have on right now. I don't really have that much makeup on my face. But a tinted moisturizer that I'm using currently is from Neutrogena. I actually didn't know a whole lot about cruelty-free companies until I started talking with you ladies, and I'm actually really inspired by that. So I don't think that I will probably use this again because Neutrogena is not cruelty-free, correct?
No.
So it's an okay product. Like I don't have any problems with it. It's very, very light. I mean, I'm using a Ivory to Fair, so it's a really, really light color, and it's really not a whole lot. It just kind of gives me more of a, zhuzhed up, look. But it's not really, like, it's not going to cover any discolorations. It doesn't do any of that. It's just a little bit of color, and it has a broad spectrum SPF in it, which I have to be careful with. For people with sensitive skin, sometimes just regular like broad spectrum SPFs can be harsh on your face. This one didn't give me any problems, which is why I decided to keep using it because it's hard for me to find. There's only a couple of products that I'm able to find that's like that. So this one for medium coverage, I use e.l.f. Flawless. I think it's Flawless Finish Foundation. This one. I didn't say the price for the Neutrogena. I don't remember. It's probably $10 or less. And it's at like Walmart. But for the e.l.f., this guy is really affordable. It's $6. And I really, really like the way that it feels on my face. And it's a good, I like to use this one when I don't have breakouts. Like if I just have a really good texture and color going on, this is a good medium foundation that I like to use. And then the other one that I use if I want a more full coverage look, I use this buildable foundation from a brand called Ashley Sievert Beauty. It's a mineral velvet cream, and it has like a mineral sunscreen in it. It's SPF 15. But I really like it. It's a really well-loved bottle, so you can see it's kind of like banged up. But this brand, like, I think this goes to show you, like, a little bit goes a long way. Like, one pump is like my whole face for a pretty like liberal covering. And then if I want to have like really full coverage, I usually do 2 pumps, like for real. It's really, really good product. This one's a little bit more expensive. It is, I think it's $48 for the Mineral Velvet Cream. So it's a little bit more pricey, but I mean, 1 pump is like your whole face, and so that's fantastic. She does not test on animals. I don't know the extent of cruelty free, but I do know that on all of her bottles it's printed not tested on animals. So I really like this brand as far as the quality and what you're getting. So I just dropped that, but that's what I use. It's fine, it's on the floor, it's okay. That's what I use. Yeah, I really like those products. For me, they work on my skin really well. So I'm a fan, and I would like to hear more from Christian. I'll start with you. What foundations, if any, do you wear?
I like that you went lighter to more full coverage because that was my game plan as well. I did want to say, just to let you know, I don't wear these products, but if you want another tinted moisturizer type product that is cruelty free, I know ColourPop, which is available through their website, and Ulta has a tinted moisturizer. And there was another one that I thought of. I don't know what it is, but I have one. I don't know if you'd be interested. This is from Bare Minerals. It's their Complexion Rescue. It's called a tinted hydrating gel cream, which is a fancy way of saying it's a tinted moisturizer. It has mineral SPF in it, as a lot of Bare Minerals products do because they're mineral based, and it is cruelty free. I have vanilla O2, which just means I'm a pasty girl. And then my medium to full coverage, it's you can't tell what this is. This is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation. The pump broke, so I decanted it into this bottle with a functioning pump. It's one of those where if I do like one pump, kind of like Carly talked about, if I do one pump and rub it in with my fingers, it's pretty light coverage, but I can put on more and use the sponge and do stuff to make it more full coverage. So it's very versatile. And if I want something in the middle, I just mix the two together and smear that all over my face. And it tends to work for me. So those are my two.
I love. That's awesome. Yeah. Also, I know Elf makes some like
Mhm.
BB creams or CC creams.
Yes. Oh,
Both probably. And those are, I haven't tried those, but I would
Mhm.
assume based on my experience, they're probably fantastic.
probably. I like Elf. I wanted to say these both of these products are around the same price, mid to high 30s for these, and both
Nice.
cruelty free.
Love it. Love. What about you, Candy?
So for my like lighter medium coverage, I don't have anything light coverage. I actually make my own tinted moisturizer with whatever like moisturizer I'm using for that day, and then
There you go.
throw in some foundation. Because I go from different colors like all throughout summer, all throughout winter. I'm like never the same color ever. So I mix a lot of my foundations a lot. Like I have a lighter one, I'll mix with a darker one and make like the right shade depending on how much sun I've gotten. Yeah.
Amazing.
There's a beauty hack. Right
Talent.
there.
Yes.
Like I probably have like 4 different shades. So it's not like I'm like not buying the right shade. I am. Based on like, I mean, quarantine's happened, so I haven't been out in the sun, but I get like really, really dark, and then like it goes to like medium, and then I turn gray in the winter. It's like, but I've done the Joa. I just found this brand. I just talked about it with my primer for the Truly Yours Natural Finish Foundation Drops. So it's like a dropper, like that you take out and drop onto your brush, which I kind of like. But this one's super silky. It's buildable foundation, so it's not full coverage right away. It is cruelty free. I just like, it feels more natural. It doesn't feel like heavy, like you're wearing a lot of makeup, and I like that if I'm going for like a lower coverage look. But I also use the Elf, and I really like the Elf brand too. I haven't got it lately. But my favorite foundation, like probably ever, is the Tarte Amazon Clay. Yeah, I love it. It's oil free, but it's super thick, so it feels like if you like put it on, it's almost like it feels like a clay. It's not like but it easily blendable. Like considering how thick it is, it blends really, 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 really well. But this starts off at $40, so it's a little bit on the expensive side. If you want a dupe for this, it's the Milani Conceal 2-in-1 Foundation, which is about $12. It's not as thick. Yeah, I looked up dupes for all my makeup. That's a little bit aside. Which is also Milani is cruelty free. They L'Oreal does one, but they test on animals because they're a product based in China where they have to test on animals. So that one's cruelty free if you want the Milani one. But this comes in about 40 different shades. So that's pretty decent.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I actually am really interested in that foundation. I might try it at some point. I just want to try all the foundations.
I want to try everything.
We all have our things.
I know.
Want to try all of.
I got my makeup done for law school, and my boyfriend was in law school last year, and they put this on me, and I bought it like immediately because it feels like so good. My skin feels like hydrated afterwards.
Ooh.
But it's oil free and it's matte, so it's like a matte to dry out your skin, and it doesn't make your skin look dry. So
I love that.
And
Noted for sure.
yeah,
For sure. Haley, what about you?
Okay, so for the longest time I used liquid foundations, but I actually only use powder now. I do still have the liquids, so I'm going to show them. Kat Von D is no longer a part of her company, so I can actually support the brand now. I did buy this, however, before I knew some of the comments that her husband and her had made against like the Jewish community, which is my family. So I refused to support her while she was still a part of it. But I did buy this before knowing that. So unfortunately, she did get some of my money. But I have some of her Lock-It foundation. I have no idea if this is still my color. I don't remember the last time I used it. I didn't hate it. It is full coverage. Pretty much everything I have that you'll see is because I got my makeup done at Sephora and I bought what they used. I never really knew fully what I wanted in makeup until I really started playing around with stuff. It's supposed to be 24-hour wear, full coverage, transfer resistant matte finish. So, like I said, I used to really love the matte finishes. I did feel like this made me really dry though. And then I have the Becca Skin Love. You can't really read it anymore. It's so worn down. You can tell I did use the majority of this. And this was a pretty full coverage too. I think I was looking for full coverage whenever I use liquid. I don't know why. I said last episode I've been really blessed with really good skin. I don't have a whole lot of breakouts, so I really don't know why I was like pouring on foundation. That's the old me. If you can see I have 8 of these in here. All the same color, okay, because these are $32, but me and Christian found them at TJ Maxx for $8. So I bought all of them. So I would not need foundation for a very long time, but it is the Bare Minerals Original Powder. I have it in neutral ivory. It has SPF 15 in it. It literally makes my skin just look amazing. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe how much I love it, but obviously I do. I have 8 full. I mean, this is the only one that's almost empty. The rest of them are completely full. So I have 7 full. I literally am never going to run out of these. I don't know when I'll need foundation again. But I recommend it. As we said before, cruelty-free. And I hope that for our listeners and our watchers out there, you don't feel like guilty for using products that may not be cruelty-free. That's just kind of our personal preferences. Something that I'm trying to move towards. There are some things I have that I'm trying to, use or get rid of, but please don't feel bad about it. We're not trying to make anybody feel bad. Okay, so I'm going to highlight a Black-owned beauty brand called AJ Crimson. AJ Crimson Beauty, sorry. They have a lovely variety of cream foundations compacts to choose from, curated by seasoned celebrity makeup artist AJ Crimson. You can find them at ajcrimson.com. So, just
they're beautiful.
AJ Crimson. So check them out. They're very pretty. And if you like that kind of creaminess, then it is something to try. And I might try that Tarte one too, by the way. You have me interested. So,
I recommend it.
I'm not a huge on liquid, like I said, but I would like something to maybe try for like date nights, something a little bit more. Okay. Sorry. Get off on a tangent there. But next question, I know Carly mentioned it a little bit ago. We're going to move on to concealer. So for most people, they put on the concealer after foundation. I use powder. So like Carly said, I put the liquid on first. So my concealer goes on first. Concealer is used to conceal.
Right.
You can use it to brighten their under eyes, cover those dark circles. Also use it to maybe cover some acne spots. Which I use it for both. So I use it, thankfully, for what it's used for. I actually use the Tarte Shape Tape.
The infamous
Tarte Shape Tape. I did watch something recently that a lot of people didn't like this because it was very dry. And I started paying attention, and it actually is kind of dry underneath the powder, which makes me a little sad because this gives such good coverage instantly. Like, you do not need a lot of this to cover. And it matches my skin perfectly, and it helps brighten my under eyes. So I probably still use it. I just might switch from the primers that aren't hydrating to a more hydrating primer to use this. And that's actually the only concealer I have. So, and I have a whole nother one of these in my drawer because
Another one.
These are, I did say that the price of that last one. These I believe are in the like $28 range. So they are kind of pricey. They do have minis. So you can try out the minis at Ulta. It's not sold at Sephora. It's only sold on Tarte's website and at Ulta. I bought this straight from Tarte, and I believe it was $28. I'm not 100% sure, but the minis I think are like $12 at Ulta. So if you want to try it without breaking the bank, then I would say grab a mini first. But not all the colors are in minis.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I don't
problem.
think my color that I bought was in a mini. I had to test them out, at Ulta and Sephora. Not right now, but typically you can test stuff out. And right now you can only have that people working test it out on their hands. So it's not your skin. So it's kind of hard. You might have to wait until all this COVID stuff is over if you're trying to color match.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm going to jump to Candy to start with what concealer she uses.
So that is the concealer I use. I'm actually out right now, and again, quarantine's just lifting, so I can't go get my, plus I'm not quite sure my shade anymore. So it's amazing. It covers like literally everything, and again, a little bit of product. I haven't had problems with the dryness, but I don't have super dry skin. I have like I don't have oily or dry skin. I just have like, it's not
Normal.
so. It is $28, so it's a little bit expensive. I looked up the dupe, and it's e.l.f. 16-hour cameo, which runs about $5. And the face comes with 36 shades.
Yes, I want to try that.
Dark shades too. It goes pretty dark. So
Yeah. And for those, for our Black friends, our Black brothers and sisters, Fenty Beauty is pretty much broke the internet because of how many shades they have. So we mentioned that a little bit ago. But if you're looking for a great foundation that has a lot of shades, Fenty is one of those.
Tarte just upped theirs. So they've got my foundation I just talked about used to only have, I think, 30. Now it's up to 36, and then the face tape, or 40. Now the face tape used to have about 20, and they're up to 36. So if you saw this before, they didn't have your shade. Since last year, they've put tons more shades out. So maybe check again.
As they should.
Yes.
Please, everybody.
Yes.
Be inclusive here and make sure we have shades for everybody. I'm so happy you use the same one. I think I am just a little bit dry in certain areas, and that may be why.
Yeah, no, and it contours well. If you contour, it blends well, and it's like literally like that and my foundation mascara, and that's all I need in my makeup bag.
Yeah, so like the $28, honestly, it's worth it because I've used this one for at least 6 months, if not longer. I mean, it lasts.
Yeah, I'm out. So I want to help dupe though, so maybe I'll do both, and we'll do a little comparison.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I know. I'm gonna need to watch this back and write down all the dupes that she tells us.
Yeah, both brands are cruelty free. e.l.f. is vegan. I'm not sure about Tarte.
I'm not sure either.
I think Tarte is moving towards it. If they're not fully, I think they're moving all their products towards it.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. But I thought they were, but maybe not. I don't know. Okay, let's jump to Christian for concealer.
So first, just to say, and I've heard that e.l.f. is a dupe too, and they have a hydrating camo concealer. So I mean, and I've heard that it's not like so hydrating, that it's a completely different formula. So I mean, if you needed some more hydration, Haley, maybe Candy can try the regular, you can try the hydrating.
Right.
We can have a little powwow when we're done.
A little discussion later. Yeah.
Yeah. I also have a Tarte concealer here. Concealer is one of my things that I'm on the hunt for. So I grabbed 3 of the 5 that I own. So mine is actually like the complete opposite of y'all. So it is a Tarte concealer, but it's called, I want to make sure I say this right, it's called the Hydro Sealer. So it's basically a really hydrating tinted moisturizer version of a concealer. It's very light coverage. It is hydrating. My skin is combo, leans, oily, but my under eyes are like the desert for some reason. Somebody explain that to me. So I really like this, but because it is so light coverage, I actually mix it with the number 7 Lift and Illuminate Serum Concealer. Lift and Illuminate Serum Concealer, which is cruelty-free. I didn't think it was, so I'm glad to hear this brand is actually cruelty-free. Together, they make a perfect shade match, and actually, the Lift and Illuminate by itself is an awesome one. This is $12, I believe, at Target. My little mini here of the Tarte is $10 from Sephora or Tarte. They, with that Hydro Seal, actually expanded their mini shade range a lot. So you have a lot of different shades you can try. And my last one is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Concealer. This is another just great. It's moisturizing. It has a really, really good amount of coverage. And I like concealers that I don't have to set because my eyes are because my under eyes are dry. So this is just perfect for me. I really, really like this one. If anybody wants something with good coverage and non-drying, check it out. It's $9, I believe, at ColourPop and Ulta.
Man, I feel like I have some concealers to try. I mean, I love my Shape Tape. I do. But the ones that are hydrating may be a better match for me. So
If we ever have our makeup play date, Haley, I mean, you're more than
no, we
welcome.
keep talking about it. We're like 45 minutes from each other and we still haven't done that. I do use concealer for the coverage. I try to cover those dark circles with it. So I probably wouldn't use the Tarte one that you said is like kind of like a tinted moisturizer just because it's probably not enough coverage for me. I use my concealer as more coverage than my foundation pretty much. Which sounds crazy, but yeah. And Carly, what about you?
So before I launch into mine, I want to say that I also have the e.l.f. Camo 16-hour concealer on my list, which is funny that both of y'all say that. Yeah, it's something that I have wanted to try once I'm out of the stuff that I currently have. So I'm glad that we're all three like, I don't know, at least aware of the products. It's apparently a really, really good concealer. So
I love e.l.f.
yeah. But what I use the Ashley Sievert Beauty, the same brand that the other brand that I use the foundation. Ashley Sievert Beauty. This is her Glow Under Eye Concealer. I really like, I don't know how to explain the formula because it's not super thick, but it gives you really, really good coverage. You don't have to use a whole lot of it. I really like it. And it's mainly for under eyes. It doesn't really do a whole lot for like blemishes or anything like that. So I don't use it for that, but I do use it for under my eyes. It is a little bit more pricey. It's $30. But I've had this tube for a while. Like it lasts a long time. So, I mean, you get what you pay for. But right now I'm also using this e.l.f. I think it's just called the color correcting stick. I'm not quite sure the exact name. I've rubbed off the labeling here. I think it's just like e.l.f. Yeah, all I see is stick.
It's like
The
that's
rest
how
is
you know
spelled
you
out.
loved it though.
Yeah,
And you
but
can't read it.
I use this mainly just to cover up if I have like a pimple or some other breakouts or discoloration. And I literally use this I just tap it on and it's like done. And of course I blend it out, but like I don't have to like rub it on or anything, you know? Like I
Yeah.
literally just dab it, like just boop. And so I really like that because it's not super, there's not a whole lot of texture, which is nice because if you already have a breakout, it's a texture spot. So
Yeah.
anyway, this was really quick and easy. This was only $4, and I really like it. So yay for e.l.f.
I don't
again.
know if you know, Carly, that there's an e.l.f. standalone at the Domain in Austin, and you can
Oh.
test products the way that you can test at Sephora and Ulta.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
Noted. I'll probably have to check that out. But
Yeah.
because, so far everything I've tried from e.l.f. I really like.
yeah.
But I
Great.
use a combination of these two for like my under eyes and then like blemishes. So love that. I would like to highlight a concealer from a Black-owned beauty brand called Uoma Beauty, and I might be saying that incorrectly. So Oma. So yeah, I was gonna say call
Nice.
me out if not. I've only seen it like on Instagram and like I've never heard it. You know what I mean? I've only seen it.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
didn't really know how it was pronounced. But first of all, a lot of what they have is amazing. Not just concealers. I'm just highlighting a concealer, but you really need to go on their website and check out everything that they have because they have a lot of really, really great products. But their Stay Woke concealer is available in several different shades, and it has a really great applicator. For those of you who are big on applicators, I know sometimes I am, like I have like my little stick, but like whenever I have like a liquid product, like to me, certain applicators sometimes can be deal breakers, and they have a really cool applicator. So I like that. You can find it online at, how do you say, Oma Beauty?
Oma.
Oma Beauty. It's spelled UOMA. So UOMAbeauty.com. And again, they have a lot of really pretty products besides just concealer. So go check them out if you're not sure, or based on all of our recommendations, if none of them grabbed you but you want to try this, I would highly recommend, and we'll link all of these for you All the Black-owned beauty brands that we're talking about, we'll have a link for those whenever we post it. So if you're like feverishly writing everything down, fret not, my loves. You'll be okay. But that's concealers. We are going to move forward onto bronzers and blushes. I kind of put these in the same category. They're not really the same, but they can be used for similar things. So we're just going to talk about them together. Bronzers help to contour your face, give you some sun-kissed color, and blushes can add a natural flush to your face. All pretty colors. But yeah, right now I am not really using a bronzer as much. I will be probably soon. I'm just out right now. And I in the summertime I don't really have to use bronzers as much just because my skin does darken a little bit. I burn mostly, but my skin does darken some. But right now I am using a blush, and I am using the Milani Baked Blush. It's really affordable. It's I think $6. And Milani is, you said, cruelty-free, which I didn't know. I had just got this because it was affordable and cute. This is Berry Amore. But I really like it because I don't know if you could see that, but it's kind of speckled. And so it kind of does have a bronzing effect while you get blushy. So it's not just a pink color. But I really like it, and it's affordable, and I just brush it on. I don't do anything super fancy. Whenever I contour, I do usually use bronzer, like to contour, but I don't have any with me now. I've used a handful of different kinds. I've used a bronzer from e.l.f. That I liked, but right now I'm just out, so I don't really technically have one to recommend. Open to suggestions. But that is me. I would love to hear from you, Christian, on what bronzers and or blushes you use, if any.
So I feel like you guys may not have been prepared.
No, I have a crap ton in front of me.
Okay,
I'm sitting down.
So I'm not the only one. So I'm currently out of a powder bronzer. That's one of the things I'm on a hunt for. I love, my favorite bronzer of all time is the NARS Laguna bronzer. NARS is stupid and decided to sell in China because they wanted to make money, which I get as a company. I'm personally very offended because I can't get it anymore. Yes, which is also great. It's horrible. Like everything they come out with is gorgeous and they're not cruelty free. So I have cream bronzers here. I don't know if I'm the only one that's going to have cream products. I've gotten into cream products in a big way lately. So I have bougie and slightly less bougie here. I have the Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Fair. So this is a really, really pigmented bronzer that kind of acts like a bronzer. So you can kind of contour with it, but it still adds some warmth to your face. And then I have the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, which is another cream product. It's much more lightweight in the color that it gives. So if I'm going really glam, I go with the Huda. If I go less glam, I'm going with Charlotte Tilbury. Nobody faint when I say the Charlotte Tilbury product, I believe, is like $38 or $42
Yeah.
for a very, very minimal amount of product. If Charlotte's listening, please add more product to this for the money. The Huda one is also, I believe, in the mid 30s. Might be low 30s, but it has so much product. I mean, I've had this forever and I've barely made a dent in it. So for my budget people, I would go with the Huda. For my blushes, I have a cream formula I want to shout out and two powders. So e.l.f. that we've been discussing. I really, really like this. Is actually a duo. It has a blush and a highlighter in it. I knocked the original highlighter out and put my own in because I liked it better. But the blush in here is really, really amazing. That is really, I got that at TJ Maxx, so I got it for like $3. I'm sure it's only like $4 or $5 if you buy it new from e.l.f. My other powder one is from Essence, and I love this brand, guys. It's cruelty-free as far as I know. It is sold at Ulta. This is called their Satin Touch Blush. And this right out of the gate is only like $3.99, I believe. And it's a gorgeous satiny formula. It doesn't have any shimmer in it, but when you put it on, it's just very smoothing to your cheeks. So I really like that one. And then my cream is actually from Milani. Got 2 shades here. I've got, what are they called? That's a great question. Wine Glow and Nude Flesh. These are really, really perfect before you set your face. You take them, you can pat them on with your fingers or with a brush, and they're stunning. I mean, watercolor on your cheeks that make you feel beautiful and like you've just, lightly jogged a lap and you just have a little bit of flush. They're really, really amazing. So those are
I don't look like that when I jog a lap.
I was like, I'm
Neither do
dying.
I. Right? Exactly. Lightly jogged. Lightly. Like if you ran and were trying to still look pretty, that kind of.
Yeah, I don't look like I run, so.
Right. Me either. Maybe that's not the best analogy, but you know what I mean. That
We're
pretty
following you.
glow.
Following.
I love those. So those are my blushes.
Love. I'm excited about hearing those and looking into them. Milani, I don't know that much about, but I know that I've never, I've used them a couple of times, but I've never been disappointed with their stuff either. So, noted.
You should try them.
I might. I just might. Candy, what bronzers do you use, if any, and what blushes do you use, if any?
I have a e.l.f. bronzer and blush duo that I love, and it was like, I think, $4. I don't have it with me. In my other makeup bag. I think I left it in the car. But I love that, and it has like a little bit of shimmer in it, so that's really nice. I do use this one. It's Hoola Benefit, and I love it, but it's not cruelty-free because they sell it in China, so it's required to be tested on animals. But it has like a really like little cute brush, and like the brush feels so nice. I'm probably gonna keep this. Like,
yeah.
travel brush. Like I have better brushes, obviously, but the one that came in here is actually decent. This cost, what was it? This cost about $30. So NYX Professional Matte Bronzer is the dupe for this, and it costs $6, and they are cruelty free. So I'm gonna try this out. I've had this 2 years though, and it's still doing well. There's like a little hole in it, but a ton of product. And I use this to like contour my face and up here a little bit to like have that sun-kissed glow. I don't really I do the blush from e.l.f., but like I don't really have any blushes that I particularly like. I used to have a stick that I liked because I put it on my lips and I put it on my cheeks and then just like some chapstick when I was like out on the go, and I don't remember the brand and I can't find it anymore.
Oh, sad.
Oh,
So our listeners, yeah, if that sounds familiar to you, and you think you might know what product it is, go ahead and leave us a comment, and we can, it might not be, but we can maybe figure that out. Internet, use your powers.
it was super like hydrating too, so it was nice. It gave like a like dewy kind of look, and everything I had. So like I like having it be like blush. So
yeah, dang. Well, we're gonna find it.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Need it. I can't find it.
Yeah.
It was drugstore. Awesome. It wasn't like brand name. I can tell you that.
Even better. Love. We'll find it. Don't worry. Haley, what about you? Bronzers, blushes.
Yeah, so I have a bronzer that I don't use because I don't know how to use it, but it was used on me at Sephora, so I bought it. It's actually the Becca brand. I have a lot, y'all. You're about to see a lot of Becca here in a second, but it's very, very pretty. It's a lighter color. So
Really
I've maybe used it twice since then, and I don't remember the last time I used it. I also have the contour palette from e.l.f. that I got at TJ Maxx. So I think I spent like $4 on it. You can see I put this one under my eyes, so it's the most used. I've never used these. I don't know how to use them.
We'll go over it.
But I
maybe.
am trying to
We'll
learn.
get
That is my
different
next
time.
step, is trying to learn how to contour. So the things that I don't know how to do are contour and fake lashes. And so I'm trying to step into those worlds maybe.
Party.
For date night. This is never going to be an everyday thing for me. Just as much as blush isn't an everyday thing for me. It is pretty much a date night thing. But I have a lot of them. So I know we're going to go over highlighters in just a little bit, but I have like palettes full of stuff that have like bronzers and blushes. So this Becca palette one has a blush in there up top. I do use pretty often, and then it also has some bronzing and brightening type powders in it. I don't remember how much I spent on this. It was a lot. It was at Sephora. Her stuff is not cheap. Sorry, Becca. I did get her Chrissy Teigen one with blush in it at TJ Maxx though, so this one was cheaper. I don't remember how much I spent. But it's got some really pretty colors in there. Some of my favorite highlighters. So I'll go over those later. But this blush up top. And then a little bit of the contour down at the bottom. Never use the contour as well. We're getting there. All right. So for blushes, I pretty much only use Becca when I do use it. And her minis and her highlighters and her blushes are $22. And that's this size. So I don't remember how much her full size are, but 22 for the minis. So you can guess that it's a little bit pricier. I do actually still have a mineral cheek blush from Mary Kay, and I'm just going to use it until it's gone because I absolutely love the color. Oh, I dropped it. It's called Sunny Spice.
We should try to find a dupe for the color for you.
Yeah, we try to find a dupe so I can get rid of this. But
What's the tone? What's the color called?
It's called Sunny Spice.
Sunny Spice. So we'll look for that, but also listeners, viewers,
Yeah, we know.
Looking
if
at
you
it,
know a
I
dupe.
feel like it kind of might look like this one that I have.
It's going to fall out again.
So,
But we'll
when
see.
we do
What's
our
your
makeup
opinion?
play date.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like Haley's has a little bit
Little
more
experiment.
of a
Mauve
pinkish
in it,
hue.
maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
mauve.
Yeah. So I am a sucker for a pink tone when it comes to blush. So any recommendations on that, just let me know. Christian actually gave this to me out of one of her little like play boxes. So you can say the name of it. I don't know. It's Kevin something.
Kevin Aquan.
I actually
Kevin
haven't used it yet, and it's not cruelty free, so I wouldn't buy it, but it's really pretty, so I can't wait to at least try it out. As you can tell, mostly pink, but it was free, so at least I'm not giving them any of my money. And then I have 3 from Becca. I've gotten most of them at TJ Maxx. I really try not to buy things full price. Sorry to those companies, but except for Elf, because I mean, Elf is really cheap.
Elf is
and it's really
affordable.
quality products. But I have Flower Child, Songbird, and Camilla. I'm not sure how you say that one. Songbird is actually my favorite right now, and it's just like a pinky orangey color. So when we get to highlighters, y'all are going to be like, okay, are you done? But that's it for blushes and bronzers. I think highlighters are actually next. But yeah, I have a lot of those. That's pretty much, I only use bronzer and blush for date nights, and I use highlighter every day, no matter what, even if I'm not wearing a whole lot of makeup like right now. But before we get to highlighter, I want to highlight a Black-owned beauty brand for a bronzer and a blush. And the Power Bronzer, and I hope, Carly, please correct me if I say this wrong.
I might say it wrong too.
Danessa Myricks Beauty is very, very beautiful. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, so
Yes. I'm not sure
listeners,
either.
viewers, let me know if it's wrong.
Yes,
but-
because we want to say the names correctly because we care and it matters.
Mhm.
So it's
But whenever you see it tweeted or if you see it on Instagram,
Yeah.
it's hard to know the pronunciation. So like correct us, please.
yeah, I want to make sure that I want them to get, credit in some business. So I want to make sure I'm saying it right. So I'm gonna spell it for you. So the first part, Danessa, is Danessa, and then Myricks is Myricks. And that is going to be the URL, DanessaMyricksBeauty.com. So
It's a really
if you're
pretty
listening
bronzer.
and I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, but at least you have the spelling, so you can go check out that website for a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. And the blush that I'm going to recommend to you guys is the Saharan Blush Palette Volume 2 from Christian Juvia's.
Yes, Juvia's Place.
Juvia's Place. I just bought one of their eyeshadow palettes, so I'll highlight that in a future episode. But their colors are so amazing and
Gorgeous.
everything. Check out their website, which is juviasplace.com, because everything they have is gorgeous.
And affordable.
And
They're
very
another great
affordable. Yes,
brand.
I got the eyeshadow palette for $20, and they actually also had a mini for only $10 at Ulta of that same palette. So very affordable, very beautiful. Check it out. Try going to the actual website and ordering from them. We want to get support straight to the company right now. Sephora and Ulta are great to try things and to buy from, but they are, what do you call it? Like a wholesaler. They sell a whole bunch of different brands. Alrighty. So now that we did that, we're going to go ahead and move on to highlighters. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to bring through quite a bit here before we move on. So highlighters help to bring shine, if you can see some shininess going on here. and brightness to the bony areas of the face to highlight and enhance where the sun naturally reflects. So I have the illuminating palette from e.l.f., which I don't know if you can tell, I haven't used a whole much of. Not that I don't want to, I just really haven't played around with it yet. I also, and I got all of my e.l.f. ones from TJ Maxx actually, have a shimmer highlighting powder called Sunset Glow from them, which I absolutely love. And it's kind of like more of a gold tone. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, you only need like a swipe of this and you're like glow for days. So I recommend it. It is awesome. Christian was with me when I got this. It's called Forever Sunkissed. I'm not sure if this is a highlighter or like a bronzer. I think it's a bronzer, but I haven't used it yet. So I'll find out and I'll let you know.
There are no rules, remember?
Right?
Just guidelines.
No rules, just guidelines. It's true.
A liquid e.l.f. highlighting one I think Christian gave to me. I haven't played around with it yet. I am a powder product everything except for concealer. So I am always super nervous I'm going to put on too much product, which is why I haven't practiced bronzing yet. I feel like I'm going to put too much and I'm going to look like crazy. I haven't played with it yet. I also have the e.l.f. Baked highlighter in a gold color. I've heard really bad reviews on it, but I actually really like it. It does take it takes quite a bit. It doesn't get a whole lot on the brush at first, so you just have to kind of layer it, which isn't a bad thing because some people don't want as much highlight as somebody else, like me, who wants to look shiny. And then the rest of my highlighters are Becca, which I've explained is very expensive. I've either been given to them as presents, or I bought the minis, or I found them at TJ Maxx. Once again, $22 for the minis. I have the rose gold. It's actually broken, but just in case you're a pink person when it comes to highlighter, this is the rose gold. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. It's probably, I'll call it my second favorite from Becca because the opal is my favorite, but I use it probably the most. And this one is broken, so I need Christian to teach me how to fix it because every time I open it, I'm scared it's going to fall out.
A little bit of rubbing alcohol and press it with a paper towel.
There you go. Listeners, viewers, if you didn't know that, like me. This is one of my opals. It's actually the breast cancer edition. So money went to charity. I believe Christian bought me this one as a gift from TJ Maxx. So opal is my favorite. I have that also in a mini. I have two. Just in case I run out of one. I have her moonstone, which is like a white, more of like a clear white. It's like, I don't know. It's just very, very light. And I use this mostly on the inner corner of my eye than I do for an actual highlighter. And then Champagne Pop, also one that I use like every day, is another goldy color. Last one, guys. And this one's broken too, apparently. And it's my gold lava. It's like super gold. And it's also Becca. I think I got this one at TJ Maxx. And so I've only used it twice. As you can tell, if it's pink or gold, I'm going to use it as a highlighter.
Love. You know what you like. That's great.
I know what I like, yes. So yeah, that's a lot. And those are all my highlighters. So I'm interested to see what else we have from you ladies, especially if it's not $22 for a little one. I may need to open my horizons to some a little bit more affordable options. I'm going to jump to Candy first and let her tell us about her highlighters.
So I am new to highlighter. It was one of those things that kind of scared me. I was like, I don't look like the Tin Man. Like, I didn't know how to use it. Like, I tried, and I went originally and got the e.l.f. It was like a liquid one. It was a white bottle liquid highlighter. And it felt like it was like just taking off my makeup, and wherever I put it was just like the makeup like being removed, and it was shiny there, and I didn't like it. So I was like, I'm done with highlighter. I'm not doing anything. And then I started using. So I have the Smashbox eyeshadow palette with rose gold, and it has two highlighters for above your brow for when you do your eyeshadow. And I was like, I'm gonna try this on my cheeks, and it's like a rose gold color, and like where you put the highlighter on the nose, like the lip, like T-zone area. And I really loved the powder, like even though it was your eyeshadow on my cheeks. So I used that majority of the time. I don't have it with me, but I do have a Fenty one. It's called Trophy Wife, and it is the goldest gold you will ever find. I'm also a pink gold person when it comes to highlighter. Like I like the rose gold and like the gold.
Yes.
Like the two eyeshadows I tend to go with the most though, so I don't know if it's about that. But the Fenty Trophy Wife, I think it's called. It's like like almost color Kristen's shirt, I think. Like it's beautiful. And it's like it goes on really well, and I've had it for a while now. And I feel like I haven't like it doesn't look like I've used any of it. So I don't have it with me. I don't know where it went. I can't find it at the moment. My kids take a lot of my stuff and hide it.
That's okay.
Oh no.
But my two ones. I'm still new to highlighter, so if anybody has any suggestions on like how to do highlighter, Haley just gave me a whole like thing of highlighters to try. So
I don't even know if this is the right brush, but this is the one I use. It's kind of like at an angle.
I have like a fan. Like mine's like
I have one of those too.
fan, yeah.
But I feel like I can never get enough product, and I like to be shiny on my fan.
I use little brush
guys.
I use the little brush out of my bronzer, the Hoola bronzer, this thingy that I said I like, and I use that for my powder just came out. I use this for my highlighter sometimes because I'm like, well, it goes like right above the like bronzer anyways. Like, why not?
Yes. But yeah, I just put it here on my cheekbones. I actually from YouTube saw somebody put it right here on the very top of your nose, the tip, and then the top of the lips. So that's where I put it.
I do the nose, the top of the lip, the chin, and then the cheekbones,
Nice.
and then under my eyebrow.
And for those who care, who may have a vanity desk like I do, I bought this on Amazon, and it holds all of my little highlighters in it.
Ooh.
So if you're like me and you have a crap ton, then these are nice little organizers you can buy. Christian, what about you, highlighters?
So I just want to make a PSA right now. Any of our viewers who are watching me and are like, what the heck is she doing? I have this tiny monster in my lap.
Oh, the puppy.
And if you are just a listener, go check out our YouTube to see this cute, adorable monster. That's all I can call him. So that's what's going on in my lap. So for highlighters, I'm going to have to wrangle. He's trying to jump out of my lap. So I'm going to have to wrangle him and reach. I spoke earlier about that little e.l.f. duo that I depanned the original highlighter and put my own in. So the highlight that's in here is a mix of a palette from Flower Beauty. Flower Beauty is Demi Moore's. No, not Demi Moore. Ooh. I apologize. I can't remember the celebrity right now, and I feel really, really bad. Flower Beauty is a wonderful cruelty-free company.
It's Drew Barrymore.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
I had the D and the M.
Yeah, I mean, Demi Moore,
completely
Drew
off
Barrymore.
So close.
Completely off base. So she has a highlighting palette that is amazing. It comes with sort of a pale champagne, a yellowy gold, and then a pinkish highlight. So, I mean, Candy, Haley, if you guys wanted to check that out, I took all three and mixed them into this pan because the palette is rather large. So for travel, I just mixed them all together and it came out really beautifully. My other powder highlight that is trying to fall out of my pan is from Pixi. You can get this at Target. It's called the Glowy Gossamer Duo. And if that doesn't sound fancy, I don't know what does.
Very fancy.
It has another pale pinkish and then a slightly deeper bronzy highlight in it. I love to mix those together. They're a little bit more subtle. The Flower Beauty is for the people that want like bam highlight, see it from 3 streets away kind of highlight. The Pixi is very subtle. And then I have another flower product. I like flower. It's called their Day Glow. It's actually a cream highlighter. And the cool thing about it is it's kind of like a gloss. It doesn't pick up any powder and stuff. Like Candy said, sometimes liquids can take away the makeup underneath. But it does add a very, like, my cheeks are just naturally this round and plump. So when I wear that, I bring it all the way across and actually tap it a little bit under my eyes so it causes that roundness. He's going to jump out of my arms and it's going to be bad. And then my last highlight is another cream product from ColourPop, another brand that I really love. It's called their Light Stick in the color Earth. It looks very pink in the tube. I don't know if the light will pick it up, but it's actually a really nice natural highlight. Another one that's just great rub your finger across the top, tap it right across your cheekbone, that upper lip, like Haley said, inner corner of your eye, wherever you want it, and it is lovely. I adore that one. It's amazing.
That's awesome. I feel like I've got to like try all these really pretty pinks and golds, and I'm really excited about it.
Makeup play date.
My husband's gonna be real sad after all these episodes. I already bought a whole new skincare routine. And I'll be like, okay, now here's all the makeup I need.
Right.
I could pull the skincare one off with him because I didn't have any. And I was like, man, I need some, but I have drawers full of makeup. So
I am going to step out real quick just so you guys
Okay.
know. I'm going to take him to the bathroom. I will be
all right,
back.
we'll see you in a little bit. It is
Okay.
Ellie's turn to tell us about her highlighters.
Yes, I use kind of two, like, but not like one day or the other, but like together kind of. So like I use Ashley Sievert Beauty, the same brand of the other things. This one is her Spotlight Highlighting Concealer, and this is a liquid. So I'll like apply this on mainly just like here. She gives tutorials, and actually this is technically supposed to be used, according to her, it's supposed to be used like here, like above like the glow under. It's supposed to just give you more of a pop like in your T-zone, but I like to use this actually like on my cheekbones. So I'm sorry, Ashley Sievert, if you're listening and that's breaking the rules, but it's beautiful and I love it. But that's where I use it. And then of course, like, you know, once everything's done and I'm done with my liquids, I use e.l.f. This one is, I think, I don't know if it's like the illuminating, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's in white gold.
Pretty.
It's really, really pretty. I like it a lot. The this e.l.f. one is $6, which is really affordable. The Ashley Sievert Spotlight Concealer is $30, but a little bit does go a long way. It just takes a couple of little dots. So with all of Ashley's products, you know, that's kind of her MO. A little bit goes a long way. So that's what I use. I really love both of them. I'm seeing a trend that I do actually have a lot of e.l.f. stuff now that I look at it.
Man, I'm making an e.l.f. like I'm about to go on their website after this. I just got
and
like $25 worth of brushes, but
I'll have to send you some of their Instagram tutorial videos too, because I was watching recently, I forget her name. I think it's Anna, but it's like, I forget. Oh goodness, I don't want to butcher this, but there's a girl named Anna who does makeup tutorial videos basically for e.l.f. and she's like an e.l.f. like model, like you know, she does that. And she's phenomenal. She's really good at doing makeup and she explains the products. So if you're really interested in that, y'all should check that out. I forget her name, but I think you can find it on e.l.f.'s Instagram. So I don't think you have to like look for her. But yeah, I think that you should go check her out if you're interested in e.l.f. stuff. And I say that without any weirdness or fear. Like there's so much room for all of us to make all of our own videos, and there's plenty of like, go support her videos too. That's fantastic. But those are two highlighters that I really, really love. I'm open to falling in love with more highlighters because it's makeup, and I'm open to falling in love with makeup. I'm okay with that. But before we move forward, I would like to talk about a highlighter from a Black-owned beauty brand. The one in particular is from Pat McGrath Labs. Pat McGrath is iconic with products that truly speak for themselves. You should check out everything that Pat McGrath has to offer. I mean, there's amazing products. But the highlighter that I'm particularly recommending can be found online at patmcgrath.com. Again, along with a slew of a bunch of other really, really amazing high quality products. Whenever you buy Pat McGrath, from what I saw, I think it's a little bit more of an investment, but it's worth it. Like, you know, usually with these products, whenever you're paying more, a lot of times it's, you know, because the product is really, really high quality. Now, that's not to say that lower priced products aren't good quality. It's just that, you know, they're marketed differently and they're a little bit more commercial maybe and more affordable in that way. But, you know, with these products that are priced higher, you know that you really are investing, and it's products that are worth the money. So I'll just say that there. Highly recommend you go to patmcgrath.com and check those out. So those are our highlighters. I'd like to move forward, and we can talk about setting powders and setting sprays. Some people use them, some people don't. I mean, there's all kinds of conversations about setting powders and setting sprays and whether or not you should use them, blah blah blah. But basically, for those who are listening, if you're unsure, setting powders help to set your foundation or set the products that are on your face. And there's also baking things too. Like I didn't really get into that too much. I don't really do that. If you're interested and you really want to know, like we can talk about it in another episode. But with setting powders, it really is what it sounds like. It sets the product on your face. And setting spray is typically done at the very end because it sets your whole face. So like setting powder, you don't necessarily, for instance, put setting powder like on your eyes or on your lips. I mean, you can if you found something that works for you, have at it. Do not let me slow you down. But typically you would only use that like a setting powder like on your actual skin, on your face. And then at the very end of your look, whenever everything is done, eyes, brows, lashes, lips, the whole shebang, then typically a setting spray is applied. But I am going to talk about it now because it ties in kind of with what we're talking about. So I'm going to talk about mine first. I use a setting powder and a spray. So the powder that I use is the Perfect Finish HD powder from e.l.f. I really like it. It's like this white powder, but it doesn't add necessarily like a white. It doesn't lighten really. It's pretty translucent whenever it's actually on. So I really like that. I use it and it's affordable. It's $6 and you can find it at Walmart or Target. And then I also, for my setting spray, like at the very end of everything, I actually use a Flower brand setting spray. I really like that brand too, Christian. Right now I have the matte finish spray, and it's called Seal the Deal Long Lasting Setting Spray. I've used this. I really like it. You can tell that it's well loved. The label has like pretty much rubbed off. But I really like it. I am kind of I go back and forth on setting sprays as far as like the finishes. If I'm using powder foundation, which I have before, I don't really that much anymore. But whenever I would use like a hydrating, like more dewy type spray. But whenever I'm using liquid and everything's liquidy and dewy, I like to have like a matte finish so it's not adding more shine on top of my, because I was finding for me personally that if I was using like a hydrating dewy spray on top of my dewy face that I've already kind of perfected the dewiness that I wanted, then I was like, I look like I'm kind of sweating. And plus with highlighter, it didn't really help. And so that's just for me and my skin. If you find that it works for you using hydrating sprays after liquid, more power to you. Run the world. But that's what I use. I really, really love using those. And the spray I think is like $10 or $11. But it is kind of a bigger bottle. Like it's not like really small. Some of the sprays that you can find are a little bit smaller, or at least the ones that I've gotten are small. But this one's a little bit bigger. I don't know the ounce. I think the ounces have kind of rubbed off a little bit, but yeah, it's like $10 or $11. So affordable. I really like it. I would love to hear from each of you. I'll start with you, Candy. Do you use a setting powder or a setting spray? And if so, what do you use?
I don't use a powder. I'm scared of powders. I feel like it makes like cakey.
Sure.
I don't like. If there was like a good light one, like I might try that e.l.f. one because I use the e.l.f. setting spray. So I put on my moisturizer and then I put on my primer and then I put on my setting spray. And I let it sit till it's like tacky. And then I spray again at the end when my makeup's all done. So I feel like it keeps, and like I just started doing this like a month ago and I feel like makeup stays more than it used to. And like my makeup stays a long time anyway, so it wasn't really a problem. But like I feel like, I don't know, it just feels like it's like my foundation and stuff stays on like more like evenly throughout the day. Because like my T-zone, like whenever that gets oily or like kind of does, or like if it's really sunny outside and I get like, the sun, oh baby,
Oh, like
Nails
ugly
got caught on my shirt.
drying out my skin, like I feel like the excuse me, the foundation would kind of like unevenly like wear, and doing my setting spray before that has helped. So,
Love.
and you just like wait till it's tacky and then you put on your foundation.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Try that.
I've tried that a couple of times actually. Now that you say that, it's actually really like people are starting to do that more, and there's lots of really good results. But I haven't done it enough to give like a report on it. So I'm gonna try that, and I'll get back with you guys. Love that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Candy. But you said you don't use a powder, like you're.
use a powder. No, I like the matte finish, but I don't like feeling cakey. So like I feel
Yeah.
like I was just
I
built
respect that.
on my skin. I haven't tried doing it with a dewy one, like with a like hydrating setting spray. I'm not sure if the makeup would set well on that. I've just done it with the matte. Yeah, no, I don't know. Do you? I need to find a powder that I like.
Yeah, I mean, I get cakey really easily, and this powder is pretty good, but the way that I apply it might make a difference. Like I take my Beauty Blender sponge, and I will kind of like I don't dab. I kind of like swipe some product on to where the powder is on the sponge, and I lightly just pat it on. And I use a sponge a lot instead of like brushes because I have problem with texture, and that's just helped me a lot is switching to a sponge, like a Beauty Blender type sponge. But not always. Sometimes my skin just does what it wants to do because it's beautiful and it's a live organ, and that's just what it does. But yeah, using a sponge has helped. So I don't know if that helps. And I know that like the wet dry, so like I will use a dry sponge for the powder, and I just like pat it on. But with e.l.f., the thing I like about it is that like if you wanted to try it, it's not a huge loss in your investment if it doesn't work for your particular skin type. So yeah, I don't
I
know.
will
if that
point
makes
out
you
right
feel-
now, if you spend so much on e.l.f., you get a free powder, setting sheer powder. So I got this for free with my $25 brush.
Yeah,
purchase.
so if you have other products you really want and need from e.l.f., you might be able to get a free setting powder to try anyway.
Try it out. Yeah.
It's already on.
I have a question, Carly, because you've used it, and maybe anybody else who's used it. Does it have like I know it says translucent, but like I'm a little bit darker skin tone, and I feel like the powders I have used in the past have like kind of made my like skin more pale afterwards.
Sure.
I don't want like my white chalkiness. Like
This one I don't feel like is very chalky, but I don't use a whole lot of it. I really just use a little bit of it. I think it would depend on how you apply it. Like, and I'm a lot lighter in skin tone than you are, so it might make your skin look lighter than mine does, Candy. I don't know. I know for me, like my skin is really, really fair, and so maybe it does add lightening, but I just can't see it because my skin is so white. But I don't feel like it changes my overall color that much. Especially because the main areas, like I don't really use it on my whole entire face. I mainly use it on the areas that I'm worried about slipping and not holding, which is mainly like under my eyes and like on my nose, in my T-zone basically, which is areas that are usually highlighted anyway. So maybe I'm not able to see that much of a difference because I don't feel like it changes the color that much. But again, I don't know.
I don't feel like I have. I mean, I don't have dark skin. I'm not tan whatsoever. I'm not super, super light. But I use it to set my concealer basically, and I don't feel like it adds color. And from what I've seen from the people who do the like cake stuff or bake, whatever it's called, I don't do it. So I don't know. Bake. They brush it off. So they put a lot on, but then they use a brush to like get the excess off, so it doesn't actually change the color. It is pretty sheer.
I'm learning so much.
Yeah, this is a wonderland of knowledge.
I know, right?
But again, guidelines, not rules. So,
Right.
whatever works for you. And if you decide that your life is brilliant without a setting powder, awesome.
I might
So
try
you can try it out and see if you like it. And if you don't like it, that's okay. There's room for that. Yeah. Love that. Christian, so do you use a setting powder and or a setting spray? And if so, what do you use?
I do use some. I've started to venture out a little bit more. So my I guess oldest setting powder is from a brand called Hourglass. I have the mini here because the mini is
20.
$18,
Oh, yeah.
$15 something, and the full size is like $42. So it's called the Veil Translucent Setting Powder. I really like that one. I don't know, Candy, I don't know if that's too much to try. I get like for the amount of product, it's a lot to pay still. You only get 0.07 ounces in this for that amount of money, but it is translucent. It's a little yellow tinted, so it might work for your skin tone. I really, really like this one. Big fluffy brush to just all over your face. Sets it really well. Another flower product, I got this pressed powder. It's called the Light Illusion Perfecting Powder because I was on the hunt for a Charlotte Tilbury dupe. So Charlotte Tilbury has a product called the Flawless Airbrush Filter. I have a teeny tiny little baby guy of it that I got. It is so tiny. And I got this as like a free with your purchase at Sephora. And sad days because I actually like the Charlotte Tilbury one more. And this is another one that the full size is like $42. So it's ridiculous. I don't know if I'll ever actually take the plunge. But for anyone who's looking for a nice setting powder that has a little bit of coverage to it, this one from Flowers is really, really good. It's just a little, because it has coverage to it, I don't love that. It looks a little cakey on me, but that's just me. It's not everybody. People say that they really like that powder. And my last one that I just got, because I too am getting into the glow, Haley. It's not just you. I think it's I'm going to say my age. I don't mean that in a negative way. Age is a beautiful thing. But I have the Milani Prep Set in Glow. It's a really, really nice, again, translucent powder. It doesn't have any glitter in it. It just almost gives the look like we all have right now sitting under lights. It kind of gives that from within glow to your skin. So if I'm anywhere where I know I'm not going to be sweaty, because if I'm going to be sweaty, I'm making my own glow already. I don't need help. But if not, I like to dust it on because it doesn't make my skin look dry. Sometimes my skin can look dry even if it doesn't feel dry. So I really, really like that one. That might be another one, maybe for anybody. Actually, I was going to say, but no, it could be for everybody. I'm not excluding any of you from trying that Milani powder because I think you might all really, really like that one. It's my new favorite.
Well, thank you for that vote of confidence. I might try it out. We'll just have to see. What about you, Haley?
So I am on the hunt for a really good setting powder. I am in love and will never use anything else, and they better not stop selling it, for my Dew Mist from Bare Minerals. It gives me that luminous glow. I use it on top of my powder, obviously. I've never tried it on top of like the liquid foundation. But oh my gosh, I feel like I put it on and I just am like, it's like radiance. I don't know. It just gives like this glow that's not oily. It just makes me feel beautiful, which is why I have 2 of these right now. They're $28, which for only 3.4 ounces, which meaning you can fly with it, but it's still not that much product. It is a little pricey. Sephora sold out on their website, so I was really scared they're going to stop selling it. So I bought an extra one, but I bought it straight from Bare Minerals. So it's still on their website. So I'm hoping that means that it's not going anywhere. Please, Bare Minerals, if you're listening, do not stop selling it. I will cry for like a year about it. As for the powders, like I said, I'm trying stuff out. So I got that e.l.f. one for free. And so far I do really like it. It's very, very sheer. It's not thick at all, which is why I feel like it doesn't add any kind of color. And I was trying to figure out how to bake. So it doesn't really work for that because it is very thin. I feel like I can't get a whole lot of it onto my sponge. Like Carly said, I use the wet sponge for like the concealer and then the dry sponge for this. So I don't know. I'm not sold on any of these yet. I also have the Lock-It Translucent from KVD. Once again, can support them finally. Their Lock-It powder is actually really good. It works like as a good all over setting if you do wear powder product, like a powder foundation. But I'm not sure that I like it underneath my eyes. I feel like with a lot of her products, which I'll probably get into later when we talk about lips, like their lipstick, a lot of her products are drying. Very, like her liquid foundation too. I guess it's not Kat Von D anymore, so maybe the formulas have changed. But for me, I've noticed a lot of drying effects from hers. So I don't use it under my eyes because I don't want it to be like cracking under there, and the rest of my face looks okay. And then I also have a tester for the Laura Mercier, which is, the gray area on the cruelty-free. So I don't hate it. And between that and the e.l.f., I've been using them like every other day, trying to figure out if I like one more. I am going to try the Hourglass one because of Christian. I just haven't bought it yet because she said it's like $18. I think that was the same for this. This tiny little thing was like $18. So thank you, e.l.f., for providing this for free. I was really, really happy about that. Looks like we lost Candy for a second, hopefully.
Yes.
Maybe
Could I shout out? I forgot my
Yes.
settings spray.
Go ahead. Yes.
Please.
Sorry,
I'm
I was
done.
distracted.
Yeah. Come on.
So the Urban Decay All-Nighter, while we're waiting for Candy, I have this in the Honey Edition with basically any collection Urban Decay puts out. They put out a new All-Nighter. This is a great long-lasting, so if you're looking for increased wear time from your makeup, that's basically what this was made for. It does have alcohol in it, so I've heard people with dry skin, over time, it can dry out their skin further. Denatured alcohol is very dehydrating to the skin. So if you have dry skin, I wouldn't say don't use it. I would definitely say use it sparingly for special occasions. I wanted to be able to show Candy these. I swatched the setting powders because I may have been wrong about a couple. I don't want to give her inaccurate claims. For anybody who is listening and it matters to you, Flower, I said, already has coverage. They do have different shades of this, so you might be able to find a shade that you like. This Milani one is actually kind of pale on my hand, and I'm not even, yay, Candy's back. So Candy, I wanted, in case you were looking at any of these powders, I wanted to say real quick, the Milani one that I said might be good, might not work for you, because I'm sure you're darker than me. It does have just a little bit of, I wouldn't even call it a white cast, but I can tell there's something there on my skin. Okay. So someone who's looking for the most translucent, if you are like a bougie babe, go with the Charlotte Tilbury.
No, not at first. I gotta really like.
Yeah. So if you want to try it, I would say the Hourglass is definitely the most translucent out of all the powders that I mentioned. I can't see it on my hand. So just wanted to say that too.
I do want to try the Hourglass. I know Carly talked about like a matte spray and then the Dew Mist. So I obviously use the Dew Mist because I use the powder foundation every single day. But before, when I was using my liquid, I used the Urban Decay All-Nighter. I don't know if it was a specific line. It was just their normal purple black bottle All-Nighter. Works super well. It's a great matte finish. So I didn't stop using it because I hated it. I just liked the way the Dew Mist made my face look and made me feel. So that's why I switched. So I hope that I say this right. Please correct me. Also, I feel like when they're sitting in front of you, you're like, yeah, I could say that. Wait. So I want to highlight a Black-owned beauty brand for, the setting powder and a setting spray. So for the setting powder, is it Sasha? And
I think it's Sasha Cosmetics, but I could be very wrong.
Yeah, there's not an S. It's Sacha. So I think it's Sasha Cosmetics. I have a well-reviewed setting powder called Sasha Buttercup Setting Powder that contains oil to absorb, to make sure the face doesn't get shiny throughout the day. So if that's something that you struggle with, maybe try that one out and try to control that oil. It has
like oil absorbing power oil absorbers to it. It's like magic, basically.
Yeah.
So
you can find it at sashacosmetics.com. And there's also a really great natural cruelty-free coconut water setting mist. And that's from a company called Plain Jane Beauty. And you can find that at plainjanebeauty.net. Don't get confused. Put .com, put .net. And they also have a good travel size. So if it's something you want to try, you could try the travel size first and then invest. I'm not sure the prices. It could be really reasonably priced. But if you're like me, minis. I like to try minis of everything. All my mascaras are minis. And then if I really, really like it, I'll buy the bigger one. So just an option, but I'm not sure the prices on any of those, but go check them out if you're looking for a powder and a spray. Those are an option. So we have kind of finished out our face makeup here. I want to go around and give everybody an opportunity to talk about, any face products that we didn't mention. And, if you use a contour palette or some other kind of product that you want to share about, I want to give you guys that option. If I can find it, because I put everything away while we were talking, if you noticed that I was doing stuff. Here it is. So I have the Pro Conceal. I guess it's a concealer, but I didn't mention it when we got to concealer because I didn't think it was. But Pro Concept, it is cruelty free. It's like a drugstore type brand, so it's pretty cheap and it's white. So the white helps to lighten underneath your eyes if you're like me and I have dark circles. I put that on and then I put my Shape Tape over it. I don't use it all the time just because it really does lighten like a little bit, long way. But I think this was maybe $4. Very cheap. I got it at Ulta. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that was considered a concealer. So good thing we had this opportunity at the end to throw that in there. I'll go to Candy next. Was there anything that we missed that you wanted to highlight?
Nothing that I wanted to highlight. I did want to say I do have the Tarte Face Tape foundation on my list.
Me too.
Yeah, it's supposed to work great with the concealer and like really just like blend properly and like, so I'm excited to try that and a couple of the things that people have said today. So like, I guess I'll have new makeup tomorrow.
Yeah, right. By next episode, you'll be like me with my whole skincare routine I showed.
I'm moving, so maybe I'll wait till I move so I don't have to like
True.
all of it. But.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Packing stinks. Yeah, no, I definitely want to try the face tape, especially because, the color matching with it being the same brand and the same like line of beauty.
It's supposed to have great coverage though, so it's like a full coverage one. I really want to try. It is on the expensive side. I mean, the concealer is like $30, so
yeah, Tarte is a pricey brand.
Good, they're so good.
But it lasts. I've had my concealers for forever.
And I have the other foundation. So
yes, I did not, and this is just me personally. I did not like the Tarte Creaseless concealer. I did try that because Sephora sells that, and I shop at Sephora a little bit more than Ulta. So literally, the only thing I buy from Ulta is my Shape Tape, which I bought straight from Tarte during all the COVID stuff. But yeah, so I didn't like the Creaseless. I just felt like it didn't set very well. But that might just be me and my under eyes. I see Christian's probably yelling at her doggies, but I want to give her the chance to, if we missed anything, highlight something.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's
yes.
my 8-week-old puppy thinking he's tough. And that's my 9-year-old dog saying, I don't care. So yes, we talked about Fenty Beauty. I very recently got one of her matchsticks in amber. So this is, I'm going to swatch it because why not? This is actually a contouring shade. So again, we've talked about bronzing. Contouring obviously is to kind of cut your face and create shadows. So with my wonderful, lovely round face, I like to try to create a little bit more dimension. And I'd heard good things about this and just it was half off on Sephora. So I was like, you know what? Why not? And I freaking love this, guys. Like it blends like a dream. Like I said, I'm getting into creams and it's really, really nice. Take it on a stipple brush, put it right where you need on your cheekbones, under my jawline to try to hide the fact that I get Starbucks at least once a day.
Same.
All those kinds of things. On the path of bronzers, my birthday is actually Wednesday. So I treated myself to a product from Miss Charlotte Tilbury. And I bought her new bronzer, which is, wait for it, $55.
Oh my God.
I had a 15% off code with Sephora. So I was like, you know what? It's my birthday. I'm going to buy a $55 bronzer. So maybe I will have it by our next episode so I can update anybody who decides, you know what, I want to treat myself to something really, really fancy.
And just for a tip, for those that do shop at Sephora and you are like a frontline worker, like healthcare or police, and you have a badge and you bring it in, you'll get 10% off your order. And that's for the rest of the year.
There you go.
And that's also if you ordered online and you wanted to make some returns and you go in store to make the returns and then you purchase something else, you'll get 10% off that purchase. So in case, everybody likes a little bit of a discount. So it basically takes your tax away for you, which is nice. And I wanted to bring up, since we're mentioning contouring, and I do want to learn it, but I absolutely have no idea how to do any of it or what my face shape even is. Like, I am lost. But I saw something on TikTok where this lady, she did 2 different SPFs of sunscreen to naturally contour her face, but she didn't do
Nice.
a second video, so I have no idea if it worked.
How do you blend?
She literally just like had it. Like,
She
you
just
could
rubbed?
see it. No, you could see it was still like white.
Yeah, I saw that TikTok.
That's
I was
interesting.
like, that's genius, but at the same time, have some lines. Like,
Yeah.
blendability.
Yeah, blend. So I feel like you would still have to put product on top, but maybe it gives you like, okay, this is where I put my bronzer.
Yeah. Which that is a technique people still do. People go in really, really heavily with like bronzer and contour and then put foundation over it. Scott Barnes is famous for that technique. He's a celebrity makeup artist. So I watch Tati, if anybody watches Tati Westbrook, she does it. She's a big, there's a word there that I can't think of right now. She's a big ambassador for it. She really likes it. It's actually what Scott Barnes uses on JLo. So if you ever wanted that JLo glow, that's how she gets it.
That's
among just being amazing and very, very healthy.
Listen, I'm going to start looking at some of these videos, especially the one Carly mentioned, but I am that person that watches it and they're like, oh yeah, that looks easy. And then it's like the nailed it show where you're like, oh, no, that's not what I was going for. So I'll need your ladies' help when it comes to figuring this stuff out. But
your cheekbones are already so great though. Like contouring, like be great, but like you really don't even need it. Like
I
you're
feel like just my nose. I have what they call the Jewish nose. So just a little bit.
Well, that is
have
a
an
myth,
amazing nose.
But I love it.
But
I don't care what anybody says. I do love it. But maybe a little bit of contour on there. But
yeah.
I don't want to hide it. I'm not when it comes to makeup and skincare and stuff, I don't want people to feel like we're saying you need this. You need to look different. You can love yourself. You know, I don't always wear makeup. I literally only put it on for this today. So I didn't wear it all day long.
Yeah.
But
Definitely. I mean, makeup. Yeah, like makeup enhances the parts of your face that obviously are already beautiful. Makeup just helps to enhance that. So makeup doesn't make you pretty. It just shows the parts of you that are already pretty.
Exactly. It is fun. Men, we wear makeup for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
want really to
anybody other than me. Like
it is literally
completely.
It just, I don't know, you know, you put it on, you're like, ooh, I'm feeling myself today. Like, it looks good. I put a lot of work into this, and it cost me a good amount of money. So, just a tidbit of information. It's not for you. It's for us. But now that I got us off on, like, way of a tangent.
No, it's
Carly, was there something you wanted to highlight that we missed or anything? Contour palette.
Yeah, I like to use this e.l.f. color correcting stick. It's green, and that's to cancel out red tones. It's I think $4 or maybe $6. And I really only use it on whenever I have a really bad breakout that's really red. Because I am so fair-skinned. Whenever I have a bad breakout that's really, really red, sometimes it's hard to neutralize the color. So just a little dab will do ya on this stuff. You don't want to look like the Grinch.
Carly.
So cute.
He's staring every time Christian moves. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt it. He's cracking me up.
That's okay. For our listeners who are not viewing, we have some four-legged friends that are cameoing this, and they like to pop in and rule the show.
I'm sorry.
Which we let them because they're
dogs.
It's
cute. He's staring at us.
It's completely okay. Right now, everyone on Zoom or any type of like whatever for work. I mean, animals are just a part of that. That's just kind of the new part of the culture that we're about. Everyone has seen everyone's dog and cat and lizard and whatever creature. That's just what happens on Zoom type calls. So not a problem. But yeah, I will use this little e.l.f. Product because sometimes it helps me, and it really does go a long way. I still have a huge amount of it, and I bought it like a long-ish time ago. I mean, it's not a year old yet, but I mean, for how much is in here, like it's probably gonna last me a long time because it's very pigmented and it really helps. So I like that, but I'm really excited that you ladies shared your makeup with me and the rest of our listeners and viewers. It's exciting to get to do this kind of stuff because it's just really fun. Like you said, makeup is for us. It's not for anybody else. Um, so I know I have a couple of things that I'm really wanting to try now. Really exciting for those who are listening. If you are curious about any of these products and you want to try them and you weren't able to find them, you can always, comment, reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about these things. Thank you to everyone for being with us today and supporting our show. It means a lot to us. From each of us, we just want to wish you all a great week and thank you so much for listening. Please, please, please strongly consider supporting these Black-owned beauty businesses. This is one of the best and easiest ways to really take action if you are wondering what you can do, and not just for a fad, but like from here on out, like how can I really impact change and what can I do tangibly to help elevate Black people in our society? I mean, there's all these different kinds of things. It's not just like a one fix. It's very, very multifaceted, but something very easy that you can do literally today is to start evaluating where you put your money. And this is just one way to do it, but literally there are millions of really, really great Black-owned businesses, from restaurants to, face products to home products to literally whatever you can think of. I guarantee you there's going to be a Black-owned business that you can support. So I say that to say this is your opportunity. So if you're looking for an opportunity, this is your in. So please, please go support these businesses. We will be linking all of the Black-owned beauty businesses whenever we post this. We won't be linking all the other things that we mentioned. So if you are curious about those, we can get with you on those. But the Black-owned beauty products, we will link those. So that would be really easy for you to go buy them. We are all excited to try these gorgeous products. I know I am. I actually have some on my list. And once I actually have income, I'm going to be buying a lot of these products that we mentioned. And we will review them once we have them. But before we say goodbye, because it's time to say goodbye, which is sad. But before we do that, let's just go around this virtual room and tell everyone where they can find us online. I'll start with me. I'm Carly. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter. That's where I'm active the most. Instagram, I'm at Carly Green Official. And on Twitter, I'm at Carly Green Music. You can find me there. Candy, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Candy with an I _Lee _Bell, or on Instagram at Candy Lee Bell.
Love that. Christian, where can we find you?
You can find me and my dogs on Instagram and Twitter at It's Me Christian G. That's Christian with a K. I am more active on Instagram, so if you're listening and you go, ooh, I wonder what those cute puppies look like, go check out my Instagram.
Love your dogs too. Haley, where can we find you online?
So you can find me on Twitter at CSI Haley. Most of the time I am retweeting or tweeting about Girls Pod and our True Crime and Chill Pod. So check out to follow those with us. Also, if you want to view us, please go to the Pones Media YouTube page. You can also see her cute doggies on there. I believe our skincare one is actually going up tonight. So go check that one out. And I did tweet out in the Pones Media tweet the Black-owned beauty brands in skincare in its own separate tweet. So check those out, but I'm also going to comment them on the YouTube page. So there'll be multiple places you can go and find those links. To make it easier, we'll do the same thing with these products that we mentioned today. Also, on Twitter, you can follow at Pones Media and at the number 1 for the Girls Pod. So keep track of us there.
Yes. Follow us on all the places to keep up with what we're doing and to keep up with what Pones is doing, not only online and, with like all the things, but also don't forget we have a YouTube, which is really fun because it's kind of
blogs.
New-ish.
And
yes, and blogs.
Ponesmedia.com.
Ponesmedia.com.
And I forget to shout myself out all the time. I'm actually running NerdPod now. So if you would like another Pones Media podcast to listen to, come over and join me and get nerdy.
Yes.
Sweet.
Please do. there's a variety of different shows to listen to. So Pones has pretty much most things. If you'd want to listen to something to be entertained, we have a handful of things for you to listen to. So please go check us out. Thank you so much for supporting. If you enjoyed our show today, please subscribe to our podcast, rate and review so we can hear your honest thoughts. We want to put out things that y'all are interested in, so let us know. But from all of us, we want to wish all of you a very good week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.